Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're looking at something really interesting that one of you sent in.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a piece of creative writing called Pasted Text.
Hmm.
It's a story set on a flight with Elon Musk,
Interesting.
but it gets into some pretty deep stuff about technology and its impact on all of us. So like imagine this.
Okay.
We're on this super luxurious flight from San Francisco to Miami.
Okay.
It's first class all the way,
Nice.
champagne flowing. Everyone's like surrounded by tech millionaires, probably checking stock prices on their phones.
Sounds about right.
And then there's Elon Musk just casually sitting by the window like it's no big deal.
Wow. The author really paints a picture there.
Doesn't that?
You can just feel that tension between the extravagance and this underlying sense that something's off.
Yeah, totally. And that's where our flight attendant, Hannah, enters the scene. She's like the definition of professional, but you can just tell there's something more to her.
Oh, I see.
Like she's got this hidden purpose.
It's like the author's setting us up for something. Right.
It's that classic foreshadowing thing that draws you into the story.
Yeah, exactly. And then, bam, it happens.
What?
Mid-flight. Hannah walks right up to Elon and asks to talk to him.
Bold move.
Right.
Yeah. Usually you'd expect a private conversation, but
Yeah.
she wants to talk right there in front of everyone.
I know. It's like she's saying, this isn't just about me. This is something everyone needs to hear.
Fascinating.
And she doesn't hold back at all. She straight up accuses Elon of being so focused on the future, colonizing Mars and all that,
Right.
that he's missing what's happening right here on Earth. People are struggling because of all this rapid technology.
That's a huge debate right now.
Isn't it?
People are worried about AI taking over jobs and automation.
Exactly. And some are saying it'll create new opportunities, but the story really captures that anxiety. Then it gets even more intense. Hannah starts talking about her brother who lost his job because of, all this automation.
Oh, wow.
He worked for a Tesla supplier and ended up taking his own life because of everything.
It is. It really brings it home.
It definitely makes you think about the human cost of all this progress.
Yeah, we talk about disruption and innovation, but this story forces us to look at the real consequences.
There's people who are left behind.
Exactly. And it's not just a made-up problem either.
Right.
We see these stories in the news all the time.
People losing their jobs because of automation and outsourcing.
And here's where the story takes this crazy turn.
What happens?
Out of nowhere, the captain announces an emergency landing.
Oh, wow.
The whole cabin erupts in chaos. It's almost like a metaphor for those unexpected disruptions in life,
Totally.
One minute everything's fine, the next it's complete uncertainty. But even with the plane going down, Hannah doesn't stop.
She keeps going.
Oh yeah. She's determined to make Elon see the connection between his vision of the future and the problems people are facing right now.
Wow. That takes guts.
It really does.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder, how can anyone, even Elon Musk, respond to that kind of raw emotion and honesty?
Yeah, it's like that emergency landing kind of throws everyone off guard.
Right. Like even Elon.
Yeah, it's like suddenly everyone's on the same level,
Exactly.
facing this shared moment of vulnerability.
And maybe that makes him more open to what Hannah's saying.
It feels like it, right? Like that emergency landing becomes this turning point in the story.
Yeah, it's not just about the physical danger anymore. It's about realizing how quickly things can change.
And maybe that makes us all a little more willing to listen to each other.
And what's really interesting is that the story doesn't end there. It takes us beyond the immediate crisis and shows us how things might actually change.
Yeah, because after they land, Elon doesn't just brush it off.
He actually seeks Hannah out.
Yeah, he goes and finds her and tells her she's given him a lot to think about.
Wow. So he acknowledges what she said.
He does. He even thanks her for opening his eyes and promises to remember her words.
But does he actually do anything?
Well, Hannah doesn't let him off that easy.
I bet.
She challenges him to take action, Not just remember, but actually do something.
That's a great point.
It's not enough to just feel bad about it. You have to actually make a change.
Exactly. And that's where the story shifts from confrontation to possibility.
I like that.
It's not just about blaming Elon, it's about how we can all do better.
Even those at the top.
Right. And the story actually shows us that change happening.
Really?
Yeah. A few weeks later, we see headlines about Elon meeting with those factory workers who lost their jobs because of automation.
Oh, the ones in Detroit?
Yeah. And he's not just talking, he's putting his money where his mouth is.
So he's actually investing in solutions.
He is. He's
Yeah.
putting millions into job retraining programs and really engaging with those communities that have been affected.
That's amazing.
Isn't it? It's like he's finally connecting his vision of the future with the reality that people are facing.
The story really gives you hope.
It does. It shows that awareness can lead to action, even in situations that seem impossible.
And what about Hannah?
So Hannah goes back to her job, but things aren't the same.
How so?
Some passengers treat her differently now.
Really?
Like they see her as more than just a flight attendant.
Because she stood up to Elon.
Exactly. But others seem to avoid her.
Maybe they're uncomfortable.
Probably. But then she gets this package.
A package?
Yeah, it's from Elon.
No way.
And inside, there's a handwritten note thanking her for opening his eyes. And get this, he's also included a huge donation to a nonprofit that supports families affected by layoffs.
So he really did listen.
It seems like it. It's like he's saying, I hear you, and I'm taking this seriously.
It's a powerful moment.
It is. It shows that her voice mattered,
That speaking up can make a difference.
even to someone as powerful as Elon Musk.
And you know what strikes me is that it all started with that emergency landing.
Do you think so?
Yeah, it wasn't just a plot device. It was like a metaphor for the unexpected disruptions in our lives.
That sudden loss of control.
Exactly.
The feeling that everything can change in an instant,
It brought everyone on that plane down to the same level.
including Elon,
Yeah, they all faced that shared vulnerability.
and it stripped away those illusions of control.
It highlighted how interconnected we all are.
And how our choices have these ripple effects.
So well said.
This story really packs a punch.
It does.
So before we wrap up our deep dive into pasted text, I'm curious what stood out to you the most.
I think what really resonated with me is how the author used fiction to explore these really complex issues. It's not about providing easy answers. It's about making us think critically about technology and responsibility.
And the power of individual action.
Exactly. And it's a reminder that even though this is a fictional story, the questions it raises are very real.
They are. How do we balance progress with well-being?
What responsibilities do those shaping the future have?
It's something we all need to grapple with, don't you think?
Yeah, it's like a story, but it's also a call to action.
Right.
And not just about Elon Musk or even just tech. It's like it's asking all of us, what does progress really mean?
How could we make sure everyone benefits?
Not just a select few.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's easy to get excited about new technology,
Right.
but this story reminds us to think about who might get left behind.
And I think the author does a good job of not making Elon out to be the bad guy. He's not like some evil genius, you know?
Yeah, he's not twirling his mustache and plotting to take over the world.
Exactly. He's more complex than that. Brilliant, driven, but maybe a little out of touch.
Right, and that makes the story even more powerful.
Because it shows that even people at the top can change. That gives me hope.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like maybe we can find a way to balance all this amazing technology with, actually taking care of each other.
And it all starts with talking, right? Like Hannah confronting Elon. It was dramatic, but it opened up a conversation.
And that led to real change.
So it's a message for all of us.
To speak up,
Challenge the status quo.
even when it's uncomfortable.
Exactly.
It's a good reminder that we all have a role to play in shaping the future,
Whether it's the choices we make or the conversations we have.
or speaking up for what we believe in.
Yeah, this story really got me thinking about what I can do to make a difference.
Me too, even in small ways.
And I think that's the real power of pasted text. It's fiction, but it starts a really important conversation.
One that we need to keep having,
About what progress means and how we can use technology for good.
and what our responsibilities are.
Exactly. It's left me with a lot to think about.
Me too. So as we wrap up this deep dive into pasted text, we want to hear from you. What are your takeaways?
What resonated with you?
Share your thoughts with us. And until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep seeking those aha moments.
Happy diving, everyone!